Hey guys, I'm back. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you. Thank you to everybody who has, subscribed to my channel, shared my links, my videos, given me feedback. You guys are amazing. So thank you. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't continue doing these videos. So it means a whole lot to me to know that you all care and want to hear more. So I really wanted to take today and really kind of just introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. My name is Lindsey. As you can see, I've got all these posters back here. I am a huge, huge music fan. These are all different cool little posters and autograph, set list and pictures and all of that of different people that I've met over the years. I've probably got, 40, 50 pictures. So anyway, that's just one aspect of my life though. And in fact, I need to kind of back up because there's a really, really important reason why music is such a big part of my life. Aside from being a wheelchair user, which I'll get to all of that in just a second, I'm also a thyroid cancer survivor. So basically, I was diagnosed in 2013, misdiagnosed actually, with stage 3 thyroid cancer. And I spent my first year of diagnosis in the fear of whether I was going to survive or not, because stage 3 survival rate for thyroid cancer doesn't sound as pretty as stage 1, which is actually where I really was diagnosed later on. The reason I mentioned that is because not only was it a huge part of my life, and it still is because I'm still technically going through it, it helped me be an advocate on a bigger level because I had to realize the doctor that I had at the time just wasn't the right doctor for me. So I went out and did some research. I got involved in the thyroid cancer community. I started educating myself on the condition itself, just to give me a better understanding of what I was facing, because I really didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't even know that thyroid cancer even existed for anybody under the age of 40, and it does, and it's becoming more and more common. And so I really just had to educate myself. I had to figure some stuff out. I had to figure out what I was really dealing with. And I think that that's a really good example of life in general. Not only that, but if you follow me at all, you know that I am a wheelchair user, and I'm currently Miss Wheelchair Tennessee 2018. And I'm going to go compete and represent Tennessee in the Miss Wheelchair America 2019 competition in a few months. Getting nervous. It's going to be here before I know it. But I'm really, really excited because I've gotten to connect with so many different people so far throughout my reign as Miss Wheelchair Tennessee. For those who don't know me or, maybe didn't know me before I got crowned, I was born with a disability called spina bifida. And basically, when I was born, my spine didn't form properly. So they did surgery when I was just a couple of days old, and they closed up my back, and there was nerve damage, but at a really, really low level. So on my spine, I was affected at the lumbar L4 or 5 vertebrae, which basically for me, and it's different for every single person, but for me, it caused partial paralysis. So I can actually still feel everything in my legs. There's a couple of spots in my feet that I can't feel. I can't wiggle my toes or bend my ankles. I have been able to walk a little bit since I was about 3. I'm really, really unstable, and my right hip is dislocated, as I mentioned in one of the other videos. So I'm a full-time wheelchair user, but I can stand and I can take a few steps here and there when needed, but I really can't walk for any real length of time, so I use the chair. And that's a whole other video that I could get into. There are misconceptions about what it's like to use a wheelchair or be in a wheelchair, and that's really part of why I wanted to start these videos. I really just wanted to take these videos as an opportunity to educate people and encourage people and share my experiences and hope that they, maybe help somebody somewhere. Going back to me and where I came from. So I'm 32. I live in Tennessee, kind of my dream area, actually. I went through the whole awkward teenage girl thing. I went through a phase of my life where I just didn't feel like anybody understood me. I didn't feel like, boys were ever going to like me. I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to, live independently and, be successful as a person. I was really, really fortunate that when I was a teenager, my mom got me involved in some really, really great programs. And that honestly and truly made the biggest difference for me, because it exposed me to people that got it, that understood what it was like to be a teenage girl with a disability. But outside of that program, there were only really a couple of girls about my, that were near my age. So as I've gotten older, I really just wanted to share my experience and help people and really encourage young women in particular to not be held back. Again, there are so many misconceptions of what a person with a disability can do and, what a wheelchair user can do and how successful they can be. And you can break those stereotypes. You don't have to be defined negatively. That's part of my platform as Miss Wheelchair Tennessee, is that you can be successful, you can be happy, and really the best thing that you could do for yourself, to be educated, to be, useful to other people, to, to really thrive and shine. Reach out to the resources. If you don't understand something, Google it, find support systems. There are support systems out there. There are amazing, amazing resources. I wouldn't be where I am without the programs that helped me growing up. I really just want to use my life and my story to help you guys in whatever way that I feel like I can. So having feedback from these videos, having you guys reach out to me, it helps me, because it helps me have a direction. It helps me figure out what I should focus on next and where I want to go next, because I really do think that you should keep evolving and growing and learning and sharing and being the best version of yourself that you can be. And I think that part of that is by going out and experiencing life. And so I spend a lot of my time trying to educate people on the disability aspect. I mean, that's kind of what inspired me to start all of my videos that I've been doing so far. I go and I do these speaking engagements. I meet a lot of people. I make a lot of really great connections. And I also get a lot of questions. Sometimes I get a lot of really hard questions that I don't always know the answer to. Or maybe I just haven't really thought about it. I actually, as a matter of fact, I got kind of tripped up on a question a few weeks ago. I had to kind of think about it. And one of those questions was, how do I handle bullying? And, that is something that I faced growing up to some degree. And as hard as it is to, admit that, I'm not always put together. I'm actually not even going to pretend like I'm always put together, because I'm not. I have grown a lot. I've grown a lot as I've gotten older. I've learned, what my weaknesses are, what my strengths are, what I'm really passionate about, what my standard for what I will and won't put up with. All of that has happened because I've gotten to experience life. I've gone out and I've put myself into these situations. And what I've started to learn is that, one, we don't know all the answers. We don't have all the answers. We never will. And it's not always a bad thing, because that's how we grow. We learn through our experiences. We grow through our experiences. And if you haven't faced anything really, really hard, how are you going to grow? I have faced issues between the cancer thing and just growing up and trying to figure out, how do I deal with life? How do I even start to put myself out there? And honestly, these YouTube videos are really, really hard for me, because I don't necessarily like to hear myself talk on camera. And I don't know that it's even my strong suit, but I also know that even as a writer, there's only so much of me that you can get through my writing. And so that's actually another part of why I wanted to create these videos too, is because I really wanted you all to see who I am. I wanted you to get a better idea of my life and, you know, where my head is at and where my head has been about, you know, certain things, because I don't know that I've ever addressed every single thing that I've ever faced. And so I think that these are really good for me therapeutically, to kind of just put it into actual words and express, you know, my gratitude for you all, but you know, the gratitude for my story too, because my story is so special, and it's special because it's my story, and that's why it's special to me. But the thing with like my particular story, I discovered this theme of meant to be, and what I mean by that is that every single thing, every experience, every person, good or bad, every experience, good or bad, every trial, every success, all of it is meant to be, because it's all of those things combined is what creates our story. And our story can make a difference in the world around us. And our story can change lives. I believe that everybody's story is important. It's special, it's unique, it's powerful. But I say all of that to say that your story matters. Everybody's story matters, because it's what connects us as human beings. What we can relate to, what we can't relate to, all of it matters because it connects us. We're all human, you know, and there's so much going on in the world too, that one of my goals in everything that I do is to try to make the world a little bit better than it is right now. Even if it's some stupid little YouTube video, and you know, you never know who you might touch with your words. I've seen my words mean something to somebody, and that's incredible. It's hard to even fully express gratitude because it means so much to me. You know, somebody thanks me for being honest in my vlogs or my videos or whatever it is. Like I you know, people have always given me a really, really hard time for being a talker, and I'll admit it, I talk a lot. It's who I am. But I also think that there is a part of that that's actually a really good thing, because I'm not afraid to talk about certain things. Sometimes I just need help being like, hey, you should you know, write a blog about this, or do a video about that. And so to go back to kind of the point of this video, everything in my life has been meant to be, even things that like I don't necessarily see it in the moment, because it's all brought me to where I'm supposed to be. So even like the thyroid cancer thing, one of the really, really common things that I've heard, and it's kind of stuck out to me, was, well, you've been through so much already. This should be easy. Well, I'm here to tell you that at 27 or any age, really, cancer isn't easy necessarily. Some people handle it better than others, and everybody handles it differently. For me, I had to start writing. I started writing out of literally emotional survival. But I had so much going on in my head that I just didn't know what to do with it. So I had to just kind of put it out in the universe. And so for me, writing about something, or even doing a video now, helps me kind of release it. Sometimes move on from it, because sometimes we just need to get it out there, acknowledge that it happened, and move forward, figure out how to move forward. And you know what? That happens for everybody at different paces, different points. I don't know. I just really wanted to acknowledge that I know that if my story can have an impact, yours can too. So, I kind of want to use this as an opportunity to say, if there's something out there that you want to share with the world, just do it. Just do it. If you are spiritual or religious at all, and I don't necessarily want to get into all of that, except to say that if you are spiritual, or maybe not even spiritual, maybe you just feel a calling, you feel like you are really good at something, or you need to just get something off your chest, or you need to, share something with the world outside of your own head. As scary as it can be sometimes, and it is, there are some of these videos, and there are parts of these videos I don't necessarily know that I would have shared on my own if I didn't see a bigger purpose in all of it. I think that if you are doing something with the right mindset, you're doing something with the right intention and an open mind and open heart, really, really great things can happen. And I never thought that I would be writing, and definitely didn't think I would be doing video blogs, but I felt like it was time. I felt like this was the next step of growth for me. You'll notice in these videos that I'm rambling, but it's because I'm trying to take in the message that I feel like I'm supposed to share. And I want to be authentic. I want to be who I am. And real Lindsey is scattered and OCD and anxious and high energy. I never shut up. And this is me. Like, that is not necessarily something that I feel like you could have gotten out of me if you only read my blogs. I'm kind of enjoying the challenge. I know that this is super long, and actually, I somehow, this is crazy, forgot the most important part, or one of the absolute most important parts of my story. And that's my husband. My husband, Wes, is amazing. We've been together for 10 years, almost 10 and a half now, and I really couldn't have asked for a better partner in life. He is my biggest cheerleader. He's my biggest fan. He supports me and encourages me in ways that nobody else can. He gets me out of my bad moods like nobody can. He teases me, but he also loves me absolutely unconditionally. And, he's probably going to make fun of me for, tearing up. But, I could not have gotten through some of the stuff that I've faced without my faith and without him. He has really helped me flourish. He's really encouraged my spirit, encouraged my heart to be pure and authentic and real and vulnerable. And maybe I'll stop crying in a second. But no, my husband Wes is seriously like the perfect match for me. And even our story was meant to be. But anyway, he's going to make fun of me, and that's fine. It's awesome. I mean, it's why I love him, because he is not afraid to be like, you're ridiculous, you're silly. But I love you. I will share our whole meant to be story. Like I said, if you follow me on social media, you know that was actually probably one of the earliest blogs that I wrote about. I mean, it's almost a third of my life that I've spent with him. I mean, he's the reason I got inspired to use the title Meant to Be and MeantToBeLindseyB, because our story was a very, very meant to be. I can't imagine my life without him in it. And I promise, he does exist. I will post pictures and stuff in the video that tells our story. Like I said, we were meant to be. We've been through a lot. And, oh yeah, he's in a wheelchair too. There are misconceptions on how our life day to day is too. And that's kind of why I wanted to show these videos too. It's really not all that different from what I feel like a lot of other people do, with the exception of a few things here and there. There are so many assumptions. I mean, I could probably do a whole video just off of the crazy stuff that people have said to us, and you know, some of the stuff that we deal with day to day. Like I said, if you follow me on social media, you've read some of my blogs, you know some of those stories and everything. But you know, we have 10 years of crazy stories and random things that people have said to us. But you know, we laugh about it, we joke about it. It's pretty awesome. In the sense that we connect on so many levels, and it is definitely more than just the wheelchair. It's so much more than that, because he really is my best friend. Like he gets me and deals with me in a way that nobody else has ever been able to, and so I think he deserves a medal just for that alone. Beyond that, I like pink. I love dogs. I have 3 rescue dogs. I have Jackson, Lily, and Abram. And if you watch any of my videos, you probably will see them in some of the videos, in particular the one about our house and our modifications there. I want these videos to be authentic and to be helpful. I have no idea if this one helps. I just kind of felt like giving you all a peek into my life, especially if you've been reading, you know, my blogs over the past 4 years or so. I really just wanted to speak from the heart. I'm passionate about a lot of stuff. One of my best and worst qualities is that I care. I really do want to create videos that you all care about, and I don't expect all of you to care about every video that I put out. That's fine. I really kind of just wanted to use this one as a way to show you who I am, show you a little bit into my world and what matters to me. And I'm constantly involved in different projects through the Miss Wheelchair Tennessee thing, but just as a human being, I love growing. I love getting involved and staying active and, you know, challenging myself, exposing myself to new experiences, and really just getting out there and experiencing life. I really couldn't do that if I hadn't had a really, really awesome mom who, she and I have talked about it, but you know, it really came down to she eventually just let me be me. And I really think that made a huge difference, because it allowed me to own who I am. And my husband does the same thing. Wes is amazing about that. Like he might roll his eyes and laugh at me and call me ridiculous, and I am, and I probably deserve the eye roll. I do the same thing to him. But ultimately, you know, we are a team. We support each other in everything, and that's how it should be. I think that when you're with the right person and you're with the person that brings out the best in you, it helps you become more comfortable in your skin. And I'm not saying you should find your value in other people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that be who you're going to be, and find somebody that loves you for that. Find somebody that appreciates you for that. Anyway, I didn't mean to turn this into like a crazy, long, weird marriage video, but I am married. I have been married for, 8 years now, and we've been together for 10. So, a lot of my identity is wrapped up in being Wes and Lindsey, and not just Lindsey sometimes, and that's okay. He and I both have our own identities separate from each other too. And we are about as different as you can be. But we complement each other really well. We support each other a lot. And at the end of the day, we're just good for each other. I'm going to make that a whole other video in itself. So if you click the link below, you can go to my blog. And that has the written version of the story of how Wes and I met, and who I am and everything else that I might have forgotten in this video. But I am going to be putting out another video on just the story of how he and I met. Again, that was a very, very meant to be thing. I think it's really special. I love telling the story. He says he doesn't, but he likes to hear it too. Anyway, I'm going to share that story too, because I really do enjoy it, and I've actually never really gotten to put that in verbal documentation. So I am going to go for now, and I'm going to go record that. Thank you guys for following me. Thank you for listening to me be ridiculous and crying and laughing and being silly and all of that. But more importantly, thank you for supporting me making these videos. Thank you for giving me feedback and helping me grow even more. It means a whole lot to me. So have a good day, and I will see you all soon. Bye. Hey guys, so I was going through the editing process of my video from earlier, and my hubby reminded me that I left out kind of an important part of my story, and that is my inspiration in the music industry. I have no idea how I missed this, considering a friend of mine made a painting for me that's 4 feet tall in my office. But Keith Urban, his music, and he came into my life at a point where I was fresh out of surgery from my thyroid stuff, and touched my life. Sorry, I've got dogs walking all over in the background right now. But Keith genuinely and truly, he touched my life, and he inspired me to start a music promotion company. And when I started it, I really wanted it to be Keith related. And so my company is called Shine On Music City, and it's inspired by his song Shine. And the reason I picked that name is because when I was first writing just my personal blog, um, his song Shine came into my life. And there's a line in the song that says, everybody's got a cross to carry, everybody's got a story to tell. And he has been part of my story. I've gotten to meet him a couple of times. Super, super awesome person. Um, he's an amazing artist. I've traveled coast to coast the last couple of years in a row just to go to his concerts. And he really is just a great performer. He's a great person. He loves his fans. He has a really interesting story of how he, got to where he is now. And he's had his own struggles, personal struggles, and he knows that his fans have really been a part of his story, and he really connects with people when he's at his shows. And I think that it speaks highly of him in the fact that at least 2 or 3 of the times that I've actually gotten to meet him and get pictures with him have been completely random. That doesn't happen with every, especially major artists. They don't, they get out there, they perform, they might interact during the show, but there's a lot of artists out there that, get on and off stage and they're done. And Keith doesn't do that. And so I knew I wanted Keith to kind of be a part of when I decided to start Shine On Music City, which came after I had already started MeantToBeLindseyB. But anyway, so Shine On Music City, again, inspired by Keith. But my thing is that everybody starts somewhere. You start small. You aren't necessarily a big artist or, a huge name starting out. But I think that if you really, really work at what you love, the fans will come. And I also think that he's worked so hard as an artist, and it's been really, really cool to just in the past 4.5 years that I've been a really big fan of his, to see him grow. I mean, I'll never ever ever forget the first time that I ever saw him perform live, outside of like an award show or CMA Fest or whatever. He was playing at a small bar in downtown Nashville, and I was sitting up front, and this was before I even knew that I was even a fan of his music. But I was up kind of at the front, kind of off to the corner, and he went to walk off stage, and I just kind of stuck my hand out at the last minute, and he and I made eye contact, and he had already made it across the other side of the stage, and he actually came back for me and came and, just to come shake my hand. And that really, really stood out to me. And it was really the beginning of me being a fan of him, a fan of his music, a fan of everything that he does, everything that he's trying to create. And I've actually met him 4 times now. Every single time I've ever gotten to interact with him, he stops. He takes pictures. There's a reason I've had 4 pictures with him in 4.5 years. You know, it's been pouring rain, and I've sat there and I've watched him take pictures with every single fan that wanted a picture. And every single time I've ever talked to him or had an opportunity to talk to him, he has been so genuine. So the first time, I didn't get a picture with him the first time. I did get him, we did get him on video saying, "Hey, baby," and shaking my hand. And so I've got that on video. But I also have, back in 2014, a friend of a friend helped me meet him for the first time. It was like the day before my 29th birthday. We weren't supposed to have like autographs and stuff. Well, I didn't know that until it was a little bit too late. And he was really cool about it anyway. He still signed my book, which was really cool. And then a couple months later, he was playing a free show the night of an award show, actually. It was like the morning of. I had been out there since like 3:30 in the morning. It was pouring rain by the time that he got out there. By then it's been several hours, and I was able to get up front because I am a diehard Keith fan. I will sit out in the rain for him and not a whole lot of other people. But anyway, I had been out there for several hours by the time he actually got, through his performance. And he did. He sat out there for at least an hour, hour and a half, shaking people's hands, taking pictures, giving hugs to every single person that wanted it. And that really, really impressed me. And then a couple of years ago, in April, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 2014, 2015. I've seen him like 25, 30 times at this point since 2013, so it's hard to keep track. But I went to it's called All for the Hall, and basically Wes had gotten me VIP tickets, so I actually paid for that. It was actually one of the few times I have paid to meet him, because he meets everybody. Like, he loves interacting with fans. He's awesome at that. But anyway, I had a VIP experience, and part of it was a meet and greet. And I had actually written out a long letter telling Keith how he inspired me, and I got to actually tell him in person. And he was so genuine. He talked, to me. Really? He was so genuine. He sat there and he held my hand as we talked, and he seemed very genuinely flattered by the fact that I wanted to pursue something that he inspired. And I could tell that it actually meant something to him. And I don't know if he ever got to read the letter, but I do know that I at least got to tell him, how much his music meant to me, and how big of a part he's been in my life and my recovery with thyroid cancer. And we just had a really, really genuine moment. And then a little less than a year ago, he was performing one night at CMA Fest, and I was pretty close to the front of the wheelchair section, which was basically on the lawn of CMA Fest, which is pretty close to the stage. And so he was coming off stage after his performance, and Wes was like, "Go, go, 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 go." He's over on that end. So it was kind of one of the biggest fangirl things I've ever done. But I went through the crowd with everybody else and actually made it over to him in time. And he got a phone call, or he said he got a phone call from Nicole Kidman, his wife, and he said, "I'll be right back." And he actually did. I could not believe it, because I thought, no, there's no way he's not going to come back. And he did. And, that's 4 times in 4.5 years, less than 5 years at this point, that he genuinely has connected. That doesn't even count the 2 or 3, maybe even 4 shows where he's shaken my hand, stopped. I mean, he's seen me in Virginia and seemed to recognize me then too. So, and even when we were out in the rain, he seemed genuinely flattered by the fact that we had been out there for so long. Like he asked, flat out, "Oh, how long have you all been here?" And we told him when we got there. He just was very humble about it and very appreciative of it. And so anyway, all of that led up to well, it was a combination of why I started to shine at Music City. If you aren't familiar with it, go check it out. It's just another aspect of me, my life, a part of my heart that I am trying to put out into the world. And I'm trying to create, something positive with music, and writing was just kind of the logical step for me. I don't necessarily have an artist that I am currently promoting. My focus is up and coming artist. That's my heart. I love it. I love to watch the growth. And so for me, it's just a matter of finding the right relationship, the right artist that I feel like I can help at the time. So I do write-ups. I do artist spotlights, and I try to do more than just, what's your favorite color. I try to really focus on what I think is really special about an artist, and I write about that. And I love it. I have kind of put it to the side, not completely, but with, the whole Miss Wheelchair Tennessee role, that was such a long-term goal for me. I've had to I can't do everything 100% of the time, all the time. So I haven't given up the music thing. I don't plan to ever completely give up music. It's my thing that I'm really grateful about. Lily. All right, I have to stop. I have to show you guys this. I am so distracted because of what just happened. As I have been recording this video, my Lily girl has destroyed Lamb Chop. So she, yeah. So that means I need to wrap this video up, and yeah. Anyway, y'all have a great night. Thanks for listening to me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. Love you guys. Bye. And, thanks me for, writing a video or writing a video. I feel I can't bend my toes or wiggle my ankles. And hey, bro. I think that